Congressman Bob Good here with your weekly Good News from Washington. And of course, the issue of the week has been the vote to vacate the chair or replace our Speaker, Kevin McCarthy. And so I thought I would just share a few thoughts with you about why I joined 7 of my colleagues in voting to accomplish that removal of Speaker McCarthy to give us an opportunity for a new Speaker. And I have to take you back to January again, from when there was the battle to select a Speaker. And my concerns back then were primarily on the spending side, that we would not repeat the failures of the past, where major spending bills were passed with a predominant number of Democrat votes when we had the Republican House majority, and that we would have a Speaker who would be a true fighter against the radical policies of the Biden, Schumer, Pelosi agenda that are still in place from last Congress, and that would use every tool at our disposal to do that. And so I was extremely disappointed back in a few months ago when Speaker McCarthy essentially surrendered to the Biden-Schumer debt ceiling agreement, where it was an unconditional, unlimited increase to the debt ceiling through January of 25. That means we're going to spend our way to $35, $36 trillion by the time this Congress is over. And that was passed again overwhelmingly by a majority of Democrat votes when we have a House majority. He also committed to bringing our 12 appropriation spending bills, something you've been hearing a lot about recently, to the floor for a vote well before the deadline, September 30, for the fiscal year, and he failed to do that. We only brought 4 out of 12, and then we ran up against a funding deadline, September 30, and he surrendered again to the Democrats and passed an unconditional, what's called a continuing resolution, or a CR, for 45 days that kept in place all the Biden, Pelosi, Schumer spending levels that are bankrupting our country and running a $2 trillion deficit this year, and also the policies that are causing so much suffering and pain for American people that are really oppressing you. So we haven't taken a stand, we haven't utilized the tools at our disposal of a threatened government shutdown or a debt ceiling limit to negotiate spending cuts, and I just don't think we can bring the change to Congress under current leadership that is needed, quite frankly, to save the country. If there's ever a time for us to fight for the American people, it's now, with $33 trillion in national debt, over a $2 trillion deficit this year, record interest rates that we haven't seen in 20 years, record inflation we haven't seen in 40 years, gas prices, grocery prices, housing prices, utility prices, an open border, rising crime, and so much more. Now's the time to fight. And so I'm confident that next week we will select a Speaker among a number of qualified, capable candidates who represent the conservative center of the conference, who can get to 218 or ideally all 221 Republican votes, that'll be a fighter and a leader that'll commit to doing that for the American people, and I look forward to being unified behind them. Thank you for all the expressions of support and encouragement you've given to me, and thank you for the privilege of representing you here in Washington.